By 5 o'clock that evening, the others had all left, and Dorothy was finally happy with the piece she had written about the morning's events. She stood up, stretched, and pulled on her coat. Before leaving, she spent a few moments tidying the place up. The other members of the League might be fearless campaigners, but they were definitely less keen on housekeeping. She emptied the waste-paper basket containing her crumpled-up drafts and also Nina's overflowing ashtray. Then she cleared away the dirty teacups and began folding the newspapers that were scattered across the table in the middle of the room. A photograph in the Times caught her eye. She stopped tidying and began to read. For once, the pages weren't full of the situation in Europe. Instead, the headlines were about an actress who had been found dead in her theatre dressing room. Dorothy recognized the woman in the photograph immediately. It was Edith Devine, a beautiful young woman and one of the most popular actresses in the West End. She was currently appearing in a revival of Oscar Wilde's The Importance of Being Earnest. In fact, Dorothy had watched the play the previous evening. Her brother Raymond was a huge fan of Miss Devine. His good friend, George Sledmere, had given him a front-row ticket for last night's performance, but he was so busy at the Foreign Office he'd given his ticket to Dorothy instead. To repay his kindness, Dorothy had managed to get backstage and asked Edith Devine to sign her programme. She had then presented it to her delighted brother. As Dorothy continued to read, she realised that she must have been talking to Miss Devine only a few hours before she died. She frowned as she reached the end of the article. It seemed to imply that she had killed herself by taking an overdose of a substance as yet undisclosed. Replaying the events of the previous evening in her mind, she gave her head a shake. They must have made a mistake.